Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 409. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only, the reactor himself, Crash. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing good.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a lot about reactions soon, Crash. A lot about reactions. But until then, the one and only, Matt P. Video is here with us as well. Yeah, Matt.
Gang.
Matt,
Gang.
I feel like I haven't spoken to you in ages.
I know, it does
haven't.
feel like a while, right? But it's because you did a podcast without me and a reaction without me. So you've done like 2 bits of My Xbox and Me content, and I have not been here, and therefore it feels like I've been gone for a long time. Also, I missed our 8th birthday, and so I apologize for that.
Thanks for throwing us under the bus like that. Thank you. Thanks for doing
What do you
maths
mean?
badly. Well, I didn't confirm it either, by the way. Like, literally, someone could have just said that. I've ran with it and went, yeah, Matt, you're wrong. I didn't confirm it. I didn't look at the actual...
No,
I didn't do the math.
I mean, I was definitely wrong.
Oh,
I was definitely bad man.
I knew you were wrong. I knew you were wrong. But I still didn't confirm it. So, you know, just how it is. Just how it is.
Just gives you more time to get in touch with Phil Spencer, get him on 416.
Yeah. For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Big Papa Phil will swing by.
100%.
He's ready.
100%. If you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me and all podcast services. Make sure you go review us over on your podcast service of choice, preferably Spotify. It's not preferably Spotify. It's preferably Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, I guess is what they actually call it. Give us 5 stars. Give us a nice review. We love reading them out on the show every single week. Patreon producer this week is the one and only Erengard. Thank you very much for your continued support, Erengard. Topic of the show this week, boys. PlayStation had their 2023 showcase yesterday. As of we were recording this, the 25th of the 5th or the 5th of the 25th, depends if you're in America. And there was a lot shown, and to be totally honest with you, there was a lot that's coming to Xbox at this showcase, so we get to talk about it in an interesting way. In no particular order, and should we go with... No, we won't go with the question first. We'll do the question at the end. But in no particular order, there was a few things that got shown. First up on my list is Immortals of Avum? Avum? I think I said that correctly. Oh, no, do you know what? No, stop. I'm jumping before I've even ran. Before we run through all this, we should probably talk about the show itself, shouldn't we? Really? Because I've kind of done a little bit of a disservice there. I apologize. I'm jumping in. I'm way too hot. I need to slow down. I need to relax. I need to chill. Crash. Yeah. What did you think of the showcase?
The pacing was awful.
Agreed.
I think that, straight up, I don't think anybody can argue against that. The pacing was awful, and I think the show wouldn't have been as poorly received if the pacing wasn't as bad. A.
Agreed.
B. I think if this was a showcase that popped in the middle of the year where it wasn't E3 season, I think this would have been a fine showcase, right?
Yeah.
I think you got a wide range of games. You got indie games, you got some first party games, you got some bigger titles, some announcements and stuff like that. But the fact this was PlayStation's conference.
First conference in 2 years.
Yeah. A kind of a lackluster conference. Because I look at the announcements, I'm like, oh, there's actually some good announcements, some cool stuff shown here, some indie games that are neat looking and stuff like that. But then you're like, but it's PlayStation's big E3 conference. I think that's a little unfair, and I do think people in the media hyped it up a little bit more than PlayStation really did. But it still got hyped up at the end of the day. Matt,
what did you think of the show? Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah. I think I'm more positive on it, but than both of you, seemingly. I thought it was a good show. You know, PlayStation never really do the whole hey, we're on a stage and we're going to talk to you for ages, and you know, it's always just rattling off the trailers and stuff, and so that keeps the pace of it up, I think. And
I disagree with you on pacing.
Their pacing's usually really good.
Yeah,
the pacing here was not good.
Agreed.
You had these weird cuts into these scenes that were oh, we're gonna introduce a really cool game. They did one in the middle of the VR games, and I'm like, okay, VR games are done, and they went back into
VR games.
Cared about.
Yeah,
the pacing was bad. They also went from hit game to 3 or 4 games nobody cares about to an okay game to a really good game.
Sure. And
the type of games all over the place. The pacing I don't think was good from beginning to end. Because there's Dragon's Dogma, just talking about that got announced. The pacing into that made that trailer feel lackluster.
Like,
That's
I agree.
a big announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Even
I agree with that. Is that
Metal
a
Gear
pacing
Solid
issue?
one.
Is that a pacing issue or just
I think
not
that's it.
having the content issue?
I think that's
No, because I think if you have the content that was shown, and we'll go through it later on, and you just pace it better, I don't understand why if you do a showcase like this, you do not open big. You open big, you close big. Those are to me, it sets the tone for the whole show going through. Like
Sure.
they could have opened with Snake Eater, and they could have
Which they
closed
should've.
with Spider-Man. And and we all knew Snake. The problem with Snake Eater, obviously it was leaked, right? But
yeah.
they opened and it was like slow.
And-
Oh, slow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Slow. And then by the end, I'm sitting there going, just get to Spider-Man. Like, we know what we and again they tried to throw us off a little bit with the way they introed Spider-Man to, like, it felt like maybe it wasn't, but that's kind of how it felt to me. It was like, it might be, it's just Wolverine. Oh my god.
Could have been Wolverine.
But
Yeah.
ultimately it was Spider-Man. But yeah, go on. Sorry, you've not had a chance to have your say.
No,
so
no,
please do.
I just think, like, from a production standpoint, like, it was good and it was fine, and like, I didn't think, the pacing's really off, but I totally hear what you guys are saying. I do think that there were, like, very notable admissions, and like you say, a lot of this is coming elsewhere. Like we didn't get a new thing from Naughty Dog. We didn't even see Last of Us Factions, which I thought was, like,
nuts.
if we had done a prediction episode, I would have nabbed that off the bat, because I think we would have all gone for it.
I would have
kind of
got,
thing, you know?
I would have got nothing. I just want to say.
Nah,
If
you-
did this episode, I'm pretty sure I would have got nothing.
One of us would have had Snake Eater because it got leaked.
But no, none of us would
That's
have
cheating.
either, because I wouldn't have allowed it to go through.
I would have, and I'm the boss
That would
around
not
here.
be a prediction. No.
So yeah, even the things that were, like, a big surprise, and I think you are right. Like, Dragon's Dogma should have been a bigger surprise than it felt like it was.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that should have got a bigger pop than it was. And I don't feel like maybe it was the best trailer in the world.
No.
But yeah. So yeah, I would give it a solid B.
No, not
Minus.
even. Yeah, okay, all right. Here we
From-
go. Minus
From
out
a 1
here.
to 10, what would you give
6. Oh, sorry.
that? I'm with you on 6.
Yeah.
A 6 or 7. I think
6?
might be more than a 7. It's like
No. I think a 7. I think I'd put it at a 7. I think
I
when you
think
look
can
back
make an
at it,
argument for 7.
Look.
I think you can make an argument for a 7 because I
we all
don't think
know. Sorry, go on, Crash.
I don't think it was like a poor quality of games shown, right? I think there was a large variety, especially recently. People have been talking about PlayStation's only focused on big AAA third-person games, right? And
Yeah.
here it's like, okay, it's a lot of third-party games we're showing off. A lot of it's coming to PlayStation. We're giving limelight to a lot of games that wouldn't get it otherwise, which PlayStation hasn't been doing, right? I
Yeah.
just don't think it was done well, is my thing.
There is also a chance here that Keighley has stolen some of the big hitters, which would be mad for PlayStation to allow him to do it. But
Well, they
like,
have.
I
Alan
wouldn't-
Wake.
yeah.
Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2
Alan Wake
doesn't
2.
hit as heavy as it has because it didn't have gameplay. It was still good, but it wasn't as heavy as it could have been because it didn't have gameplay. And then we find out that Jeff Keighley has the gameplay. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And there could be a Death Stranding 2. It wouldn't surprise me if Factions is at Summer Game Fest now because he has a decent relationship with Neil Druckmann. Like, I don't know.
No way. Factions would have been here.
Yeah, I
No
agree.
way you get
They
Factions
showed.
up there.
I mean, they talked about Factions on stage at.
They also promoted the
Sure, but
TV
PlayStation
show.
didn't have a conference then.
Yeah, no,
right?
I hear what you're saying, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not how those are done. I don't think we see Death Stranding 2 there either. I think we'll see Kojima to some fashion. I'd be shocked if we see Death.
I see Xbox giving the the Kojima announcement to Jeff Keighley more than I do PlayStation giving
Yeah.
Factions to Jeff Keighley.
I think because with Xbox, I think the announcement goes better with more fans if it's done at the
Yeah, Summer
I
Game
feel-
Fest. Yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
I don't.
I was excited. Let me. I was excited. I was excited for this showcase. It was the first time back reacting in a long time for me. I was looking for a reason to turn on my PlayStation after a while of it sitting stagnant for me. And they didn't deliver in that. And they didn't even deliver on like a what was that painting game they had that came out? PlayStation had.
Concrete or
Hickory?
something like that.
Yeah, Concrete Genie. They didn't even have like a second party title like that. They didn't. It to me when I play my PlayStation for exclusives, right? That's why I play my PlayStation. And all this showcase did for me was go, oh, Xbox are not that far behind then. Clearly, like because I've been running with the narrative that Xbox are like they're in trouble, they're dead, that they haven't got much, and then you go, huh. They got Spider-Man, they got Wolverine. We didn't see Wolverine, but let's talk about things we saw, right? They got Spider-Man.
They have the
Phantom
Blade.
Phantom Blade Zero, which project, Phantom Blade Zero looked amazing.
Yeah.
What else?
Other than that,
what else was here that I was like,
well, this is it.
Foam shooter.
Oh yeah, the Square game,
the one everybody wants, excited for.
Yeah,
Splatoon, but on PlayStation.
Splatoon. Yeah.
And there were interesting omissions there, right? Like I thought again, we were a shoe in to see Silent Hill, and it didn't happen, right? So how far off is that game now? Really far, I think.
Do we think the fact there was not a lot of first party games, that the timing is a little bit odd? With the whole CMA situation, of the FTC situation.
You think they're just trying to pretend like they don't have exclusives now?
I don't think that's what the case is, but I would be remiss not to like point out the timing, right? I don't think that's what the case is. I think like they just didn't have a lot to show, and they didn't want to show stuff that's not even remotely close.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Again, we haven't got to the content of what is actually shown here yet, but like, also, we're going to talk about that tablet. Like I've seen there's been more information that's come out about it. Oh, there is? Okay, cool. Well, I'll save my thoughts for that then later. I just thought overall it wasn't what I was expecting from a Sony showcase, honestly. I was expecting a lot more. I expected them to come out and show more. Maybe they've learned, because they definitely showed Last of Us quite early. A long time ago and got blasted for it because they kept showing it. Same thing with what am I forgetting?
God of War.
God of War, thank you. So maybe they've learned their lessons of like, okay, we're not gonna show so much too early anymore. And though that's probably best for the consumers, that's not what I like. I like to see things early so I know they exist. And I know that I'm gonna use this piece of plastic box that I've bought.
I think they learned a lesson that Microsoft learned sort of recently as well, where they did here's what's coming out in 6 months.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those fell through and it went all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think they learned a similar type of lesson from this of people are just trashing. Like almost everybody except for like the hardcore of hardcore Sony fans are trashing on this conference, I feel like.
I agree.
Or down on it, even if they're not hating it. They're like, oh, that wasn't really what I was expecting, and it was lackluster and things like that.
The problem is when you take a year off. When you take a year off, that signals to people that you didn't have enough to show. So then it means that you should have double. That's the way people think as well. You didn't have enough to show that year, so you clearly have double the amount to show now, including myself. I think I was very much in that mindset as well. It's like, oh, this is gonna be big. I felt like this was gonna be a big show for them, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't that. So, yeah.
I mean, they got the headlines they wanted with Metal Gear, with new pieces of hardware, with
Metal Gear headlines have been out because of the leak.
Well, okay, fine, sure, but you know what I mean. And like Spider-Man, right?
Like, yeah, but they don't benefit from. I think this is the point. Like Spider-Man, yes, I agree. Spider-Man, I think, is the knight in shining armor here of this entire showcase, right? It comes out, everyone's excited for it. We see some really nice, cool, different gameplay. It isn't just a rinse and repeat. Here's another Spider-Man, which didn't think it would be from Insomniac, to be honest with you. But it's also nice to have that. Be reinforced when you've seen it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I just don't think it like Metal Gear got the headlines. PlayStation didn't. Spider-Man will give them like, cool. What else came out and was like the big thing? Like there isn't anything.
I think there's an interesting conversation to be had about how, as a community, we generally get mad or annoyed when all these games, third-party games particularly, end up being exclusive to
Yeah.
PlayStation, and now they put the limelight on games that aren't exclusive on them, and the reactions like completely similar in the similar ballpark, where people are like, "What is this mess? And where are the exclusives?" Right?
I think it's to do. I think it comes back to do with all of the CMA and the Activision deal and all of that. I think that's what this is. I think there's a big competition right now between Xbox and PlayStation. As much as Phil wants to say there isn't, there is, and I feel like we're all, as video game fans, we just want great video games. Number one, that's what we care about, right? Like, but it's fun to sit here on a podcast with your mates and talk about the battle of the industry. And I think for us, it's like, I'm looking at it from a observer's point of view, going, yeah, you didn't come out. It's like a boxing match. You didn't come out and fight you didn't come out and fight. You defended.
Yeah,
like it felt like a defense showcase more than an offense showcase. Where it's like, well, we got Final Fantasy 16. Nobody gives a shit about seeing Final Fantasy 16 anymore. Like,
do you know the problem? Yeah, they've shown so much Final Fantasy 16 that at this point, it's like
it literally hit us and it fell away.
Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter 6, I did not think we would see here, because
Agreed.
we've seen so much of those games that when those games popped up, it was like, okay, cool, I'm excited for those games. But those games don't add; they kind of remove from the experience, because like, oh, it's taking up a slot there. Because I already know I'm excited for those games, and people who aren't and don't like them already know that they don't want those games.
Yeah. You can't blame them for, especially they've got the marketing rights for Street Fighter 6, if I'm not mistaken, and Final Fantasy 16 is an exclusive game on their platform, which we'll talk about a little later in the show. You can't blame them for putting those games in this showcase, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, put them in earlier in the showcase so you get them out of the way. Like, this comes back to our pacing. Like, you're so excited for Final Fantasy 16. I'm lukewarm on it. Like, I really want to like it. I think I'm going to like the gameplay. Don't think I'm going to enjoy the story as much as I think I want to. But just get those out of the way. Like, literally, Snake Eater, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6. If those came out and went bum, 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 then we had a lull period of... Not, and when I say lull period, it is kind of mean, because, like... they're just not games. There's just not games that interest me. Like, then we had some of these lesser known games. Then Project Blade Zero, was that right?
Phantom Blade Zero.
Phantom Blade Zero. Thank you. Then that drops. You go, oh, a new game, and then it just has a whole different feel to it, because you've been hit with leak, game we already know about. Then you put them in a lull period of games we don't really. Most people on a more AAA sense don't really care about. Then this cool game that looks flipping amazing gets shown, and like, you're already like this. And with PlayStation, it felt very. And for the listeners, I'm going up and down with my hand movements. For what we got, it was just one. It was one gear. It felt like we were stuck in first gear throughout the entire show until we got to Spider-Man, and then we was like, now be excited.
That was dope. Spider-Man was dope, but it wasn't dope enough to carry the whole conference, I feel like. And I also want to iterate that if it wasn't a PlayStation conference, I think this would have been a very solid conference.
Yeah.
The fact that it was a PlayStation conference, they haven't been here for 2 years, this just sort of leaves a PlayStation fan, not even just like a video game fan in general, like, where are PlayStations? Where is PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Where are they exclusive? What is not Sony Santa Monica? We're not going to know what they're working on, but where is Factions right now, right? What is Sucker Punch working on? What are all these games? Like, where are the first party stuff? We did see some first party stuff, but we saw a CGI trailer, 3 CGI trailers with the Destiny one, which I guess is sort of relevant if you play Destiny. That one would be forgettable. Marathon, and the Firewalk game, which was the heist type PvP game. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know exactly what that game is.
Yeah, and I think,
go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, like, I think some of the announcements are stunted slightly by being very similar to each other.
Oh,
like, we kicked off with, like, Hyenas, and then we had, like, Marathon, which should be, like, fucking hell, a new IP from Bungie, a new shooter IP from Bungie, let's go. But it looks like one of the most generic shooters I've ever seen. Like,
no. So here's the thing about Marathon. Apparently that is a pretty hype announcement, because it's a
lot of people
game.
are hyped for that. They are.
It's a
Bungie made it. It's a returning game. It's Bungie made that before they did Halo.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You say
so.
so.
I was with you when I first saw it, and then I started hearing about it. I'm like, okay, that's actually a pretty hype
But
announcement.
my point
People
is,
care about it.
even the graphics package for Marathon is very similar to Hyenas. Like the branding itself feels very similar to Hyenas, and like I don't know, like it just didn't feel interesting to me. But it should because it's a fucking shooter from Bungie. Fight me.
We
Crash,
haven't seen
come
the
on.
gameplay yet.
Sure.
You know,
But
I
then-
think that's where Bungie excels. We haven't seen gameplay, and that is one of the downsides of it.
But then it's another point, right? Of like, beyond Spider-Man, what am I excited to play on my PlayStation? Well,
Yeah.
Marathon ain't it, because that must be fucking miles off.
And it's coming to
Marathon is
Xbox.
coming to Xbox. Yeah.
Oh well, okay then, never mind. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
one
yeah,
of the,
let's get. We'll go
one
through.
of
Let's
the
go
many.
through. Let's go through everything that's coming to
Let's do
Xbox
it.
from this showcase. You had Immortals of Avum. I believe I said that correctly. That was the. It looked like a spell casting
It
type.
looks great.
Yeah.
It looked.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It looks very cool.
It looked fun. Yeah,
Like Destiny, but with like Oblivion, Skyrim.
Okay, why do you always go to Destiny when you compare?
He
It
loves-
doesn't look like Destiny.
It don't look nothing like Destiny. Nothing like
It
Destiny.
looks like a first-person shooter with
looks-
creepy monster things. Destiny.
It looks like you gave.
That's 90% of video games.
It looks like
Sure.
you went to Skyrim and you gave it a couple of shots of steroids, and you're like, go do some
Sure.
shit.
Sure.
It looks interesting for people who enjoy those type of games. 100%. Not for me. Yeah, it has the lawyer woman from Suits in it as one of the main
Yes.
actresses.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yes,
her
I
name,
noticed that as well.
unfortunately, but yeah, I know her from Suits. So yeah, it was cool. The next big one that's on this list is in no particular order, like I said. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Again, I work with Ubisoft quite closely. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. It was everything I think Assassin's Creed fans wanted and probably more, if I'm being honest. It looks like it is going back to the Assassin's Creed roots. It looks like it is going back to stealth. It looks like it is going back to what made Assassin's Creed special for a lot of people in Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and 3 and those games, outside of like obviously your Origins and those games. I think for Assassin's Creed, to me, I hope people support this is the thing that worries me the most. I think the trailer did a great job of really selling you what it is and saying to you that we are going back, because obviously we've seen trailers. I remember Odyssey when that got shown and they tried to do the stealth takedowns and things like that, and it was like, I remember me and Chris spoke about it and was like, oh my god, stealth's back, and it was like, I'll believe it when I play it. And like this one, I actually believe it.
Because this one looked like it was straight out old
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed stealth, not like situational sort of stealth, which is what they always showed before when they were showing it the last few times. This one looked like it was straight up. You could have told me that this is Assassin's Creed 1 remake to a degree,
Yeah.
and I would be like, yeah, I could see it.
Even to the parkour, right? Like oh, I'm outnumbered. I'm going to run away and flip off this box onto this railing and flip. Like, yeah, it feels like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 again. So excited. So happy.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Could be heartbroken. Could be setting myself up for massive heartbreak. And that almost wouldn't surprise me either at this point. But
I don't think
I would
so.
be shocked. I think I would be shocked if it ends up
like
not
you said,
being this type of game.
we had a not dissimilar discussion around Odyssey. And so I'm trying to temper my own expectations here.
Okay, that's fair. The only thing about Odyssey and I'm forgetting it. Valhalla is that they were very much still the Origin type of game. They were like, we're just adding stealth back. This is like, no, it is like those old school games from the ground up. So a little distinction there, but I understand the hesitancy.
Exactly. I don't want my heart broken again, Crash. So I'm gonna hold it tight.
This again, I think that's part of the reason why this showcase didn't do nothing for me, because like I like Assassin's Creed the way it is now. I very much enjoy the big open worlds and the RPG and type game that it is today. Like those, I enjoyed those worlds. Yes, sorry, hit me, please, Crash. Yes, Crash, hand up, please. You, Mr. Crash.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You like the game. You put a lot of time.
I've put a lot of
like
time into that game.
Yeah. How much is a lot of time?
Probably so.
Here's what I'm just gonna tell you. If you don't tell me at least like 60 hours, you're irrelevant to this
I'm
conversation.
irrelevant. I've become irrelevant.
You want the game to be bigger and
I never
have
said
all this
that.
stuff,
I
you're
never
not
said
even
that.
correct
I never
with
said
it.
that. I never said I
That's what you were
want.
just talking about.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I said
You said you like it.
I
You
said
you
I
like
like these games. I like what they
Yeah, you
are.
like 'em not
I
enough to
enjoy
play
it.
'em.
No, that's not true. Look, hey, my life dictates the way I do
Oh, yeah.
things way differently from most people's lives. And I played the expansions. I put like 30 hours in the expansions alone.
How much time of that was done during a Ubisoft stream?
Doesn't matter. I get paid to play video games.
Okay.
What are you trying to do
You got
to me
paid to play
here?
a specific game.
I get.
I'm just trying to understand the situation fully. That's all I just want to understand. Context is important. Context is king.
I don't like it when mummy and daddy fight.
I will openly admit that the last Assassin's Creed, being Valhalla, did slip past me. I have played the opening of that game 3 times now. So yeah, whether that's good or bad, who knows? But yeah, it's one of those ones. But Assassin's Creed Mirage looks really good. I do like what I saw. I hope it's a smaller experience. If I'm being totally honest with you, I imagine it will be because of the type of game it is. I'd love for this to be a 10-20 hour experience. Go in, play the game, experience how I want, and dip. But I hope this doesn't mean we don't get the Odysseys and the Valhallas of the world, which I don't think they will. I generally think they're going to find a balance between what you want from an Assassin's Creed and what I want from Assassin's Creed. And when I say balance, I don't mean they're going to find a balance within the games. I think they're going to find a balance being you're getting 2 separate games.
Yeah, year on, year on.
Yeah.
They just talked about like increasing the workforce for Assassin's Creed by 40%
Yeah.
or whatever.
Wow.
That makes sense. I think the Valhalla type of games make way too much money in its DLC and the money people put into cosmetics and stuff like that for those games, for them not to keep investing in those. I think if anything, Mirage will be an offshoot, which would be sad to me, but I think that would be the only thing what happens. I don't think the Odyssey type of games go away anytime soon.
Agreed. Next up, Alan Wake 2 was shown finally. We got to see at least the atmosphere for what Alan Wake 2 will be showing. It looks amazing. Really, really cool. Got some high key actors in it again. Again, I'm forgetting her name, the person who plays the cop in this. It looks like they're playable as well. Remedy, again, I enjoy Remedy games. They've always been a game that I enjoy. And this game looks really good. It looks like a worthy sequel, to be honest with you. I know, Chris, you didn't like Alan Wake 1. Matt, ever played Alan Wake?
No. Control was my first Remedy game, and it's bloody great, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I've never found the kind of passion to go back to an Alan Wake 1.
Alan Wake 1's so good. No, I respect it. I do respect it, but Alan Wake 1 is so good. It looks like you're going to need to have played Alan Wake 1 to understand Alan Wake 2, to be honest with you.
Watch a YouTube video, you know what I mean? Alan Wake 1 in
just
9
play
minutes.
it. And it's a bad story if they don't pull you in if you never played the first one.
Maybe I'll play it
I'm sorry.
on my phone through the cloud. The way it was meant to be played.
It has an October release date.
It does have an October release date.
17th or something like that.
You are correct.
And you were right. I'm pretty sure they came out and said 2 playable protagonists.
Yeah.
The one from Alan and the cop chick.
Yeah.
So.
Yup. Full Metal Matty writes in and says, thoughts on Alan Wake 2 being digital only? Do you think it would have had a larger attach rate if it was physical? I know some people still don't have reliable internet to download this. If they did choose to get it, I think the whole day one patch argument is stupid. It'll still get that, but digitally. Yeah, bit surprised. Sorry, go on. I'll let you go.
I think there's a misunderstanding as to why they're going digital only. It's not to avoid the day one patch. It's because of the day one patch. People will have to download a big chunk of the game regardless. And a lot of games still make you download stuff even without a day one patch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Jedi Survivor, I think there was like 200 megabytes of data on that disc, and you had to download the entire game anyway. And so the industry is just moving in this way. And like, yes, it's not fair for people who don't have great internet. But this is the first of many games that will do this year, and next year will be even more, and the year after will be even more. Like,
also important for Alan Wake is it's keeping the $60 price tag, and that's one of the reasons.
That's one of the reasons they say.
I believe it.
I believe what you want. Look, digital. They want to get rid of digital. At the end of the day,
they want to get rid of
Epic.
physical.
Sorry, they want to get rid of physical. At the end of the day, Epic Game Store is not in the market of physical media.
Yeah.
Why would they want you to have this game physically? I see there's a lot of talk about this game, obviously, about it not coming to Steam as well. And it's like, look, the people who care about this game are going to support it, are going to buy it, and the people who don't want to won't. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more you can really say on the matter. It's a shame it's not getting a physical release. I will be honest.
Well,
to me, that's go on.
Who are the people that put out Saints Row? Why am I forgetting their name?
Pallet. They changed their name, didn't they? It's
Playon.
Palon.
No, the big company that bought them.
Oh God. The media group.
Embracer.
Embracer responded to their tweet that they would put out a physical version. They worked on Alan Wake 1. Who knows if that goes anywhere? That's probably just sort of whatever. Yeah. But you never know. So maybe they will get physical versions.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't think it's.
They might still do a collector's edition that gets you like some merch and a code to the game. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but that's not physical. That's not what people want.
I hear you. Physical. I hear you.
That's still digital.
There's a gap in the market. Just go to Etsy and start making your own physical editions of games and just sell boxes with blank CDs in them. People will buy them.
Facts. People would buy them.
Sell it as a full price game. There's actually absolutely nothing on the game.
Nothing on the disc. It's literally gone to Poundland and picked up a DVD. Like you found a DVD out of nowhere. Like what the hell? You put it in your Xbox and it actually plays like Dirty Dancing. It's like what the hell is this? Nuts. Next up, we had Ghost Runner 2, obviously announced here at the show. Again, everything we're talking about here was shown at the PlayStation Showcase, but it's also coming to Xbox. I like the look of Ghost Runner. Was never my type of game, but I know people enjoyed this game. Did it come out on PC like first beforehand, and then ends up making it itself to consoles? Yeah. So Ghost Runner 2.
I'm very excited for this.
Did you play the first one?
Yes. I think it looks like a nice improvement from the first one. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
No experience with Ghost Runner. Looks flashy, looks cool, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll play it. Sure. If Crash comes back and says Game of the Year contender, let's do it.
It won't.
Is it not this year though? Next year, I think.
I don't remember if it had a release date. I'll be honest with you.
Cool.
The Talion's Principle 2, if I said that correctly. Talos, thank you. That also got announced. What was this? Was this the puzzle game one? It looked like a puzzle game.
It was just a CGI trailer of lots of like
pyramids and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with the Talos Principle. But one of the guys I work with absolutely adores it and was very excited for this. So there are people out there who are excited for this. Good on them.
Good for them. Never got a release date. Oh, sorry, got announced as well. Both of these games were Devolver Digital ones. This one was the one from the creators of Gris.
Night in the Woods, right? Oh no, is that a different one?
That's a different one. This one was like the wolf, the wolf that gets attacked, and very artsy, very cutesy, very emotional. I would imagine. Comes from a creator. I heard of Gris before, so that's always my touchstone. If I know you made a game that people love beforehand, I'm more likely to give you a chance. So.
For sure.
This one also Cat Quest, which I think this was Cat Quest 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
I think it was. Cat Quest also got announced. A load of titles that we said, like we said earlier, a load of titles that don't really expect at like a PlayStation showcase. I'm not saying it's not good that they were there, just not what we expected. Dragon's Dogma 2, the sequel, a long-awaited sequel. Lots of people are very excited for this game. It's one of those games that I know my brother-in-law especially absolutely loved it. I told Crash that I bought this game actually just to play the Resident Evil demo. I'm pretty sure it came with a Resident Evil.
Wow.
I think it was Res 6, if I'm not mistaken. One of the Res games had a demo or something. This game, I watched this trailer again. This game does actually look really good, to be fair. It was just slapped in a really odd place for me on the showcase. But yeah, Dragon Dogma 2 is here, and PlayStation, obviously the right place to have an action RPG, right? It's going to be on the RE engine as well, so
Very cool.
you know it's going to be wet. You know it's going to be wet.
The RE engine's very impressive.
Oh, the RE engine is ridiculous. I don't know why they called it the RE engine. Is my thing. Like, I feel like it does a disservice to what it is. It should have been called the Capcom engine or something like that.
Yeah, but I think if it wasn't as successful, I don't know if they would have moved every game onto it. I think it was just really successful in the beginning, and it was the RE engine back then, and they just never rebranded it. And at this point, I don't know if it would be worth it for them to rebrand the engine.
No, you're
does
right.
That really matter to the average consumer? No, not really.
You're not wrong. The plucky squirrel? Squire. Thank you. I don't know why it's a squirrel. To be honest with you, I was looking at it going, that ain't how you say that. There's no Q. Oh, there is a Q. Idiot. Anyway, this was the 2D, 3D light game. Very artsy, to be honest, we were watching this and I was like, I'm not interested in it. And then as soon as it switched from like 2D to 3D, I was like, okay, this is damn interesting. I'm always interested in games that do things differently. And that's always my big thing for how video games are moving forward. It's just like to see a game that can transition from 2D to 3D the way it does is very impressive. Very impressive. Game you guys are interested in, or?
100%. Yeah, very much gave me like almost it takes two vibes and like that kind of like, you know, fairy tale toy world. And then like Paper Mario vibes, right? Of like you say, the switching between environments and stuff. Yeah, really cool idea. Really cute. I'm just hoping it's not like super kiddie game. Like I want some depth to it, you know? I want some like
I think it's gonna be very kiddie.
I got burnt by Ravenlock.
I mean, to be fair, you can have a kiddie game and have it appeal to adults, right? There's not
Sure.
You could have like that double-hitting game. With that being said, I think if you're hoping that from this game,
with a mechanic like that, where you can significantly change the world and the way you're playing, I want those like aha moments, you know, of like solving a puzzle and going like feeling like you were smart for doing it. And my fear is that you won't have that because it's targeted at a much, much younger audience, right? And therefore, like, we will get very bored. It's a very selfish thing. Like, it's a kid's game. Let the kids enjoy it. But also at the same time, I want to play it.
Yeah. No, I do get you. I think it's going to be a kid's game, though, Matt, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
I'll go back to my pick.
Next up, you had Teardown, which is already out on PC, making its way to consoles. This is like the fully destructible. It looks like a Minecraft world, but you go in and your objective is to go and destroy the entire world in very unique and different ways. Bombs, shooting, cars, rocket ships, all those types of things. Look cool. The thing is, it's been out for so long on PC. It's like if I cared about it there, I would have played it by now, and I don't really care about it here. So yeah,
for sure.
Next up, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Obviously, this is the remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I never beat Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Played it on the PS2, but never beat it. My dumb child brain couldn't understand like why I was dying in the woods and things like that when this game was like, I'm pretty sure this is the one where you needed to like eat bugs and stuff, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, I'm pretty sure there was something in this game that my brain was just like, I'm poisoned or something like that, and I was like, I didn't understand it. It's like, I don't like this game anymore. No, thank you.
Fair enough. I've never played Metal Gear, so
I've never played Snake Eater, so
You've never played any
Oh,
Metal
that's not
Gear?
true. No, I did. I played the most recent one actually.
5.
Yeah, it was good.
First-
I didn't
first-
know what the hell was going on, but yeah.
First Metal Gear game I played was 4. Great experience.
But I say that, and I didn't play 5. I didn't like the way 5 was.
great.
The open worldness of 5 for me was too much.
So you world games.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Shut up,
Can we
Crash.
go back to Assassin's Creed for a second?
Shut up, Crash. God damn it. Next up, you had, how are you pronouncing this? Marathon?
Marathon?
Marathon. It is Marathon.
Marathon, yeah.
See, I overthink things way too much. Marathon, I thought this trailer was dead, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This trailer did nothing for me.
For sure.
Like
Totally agree with
nothing. Like nothing. It did nothing for me. And then I saw everyone online going absolutely nuts for Marathon. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this did
I think-
nothing for me.
I think 2 things. A, Marathon, old franchise getting back. People hyped about that. 2, PvP game being made by Bungie. People are very excited about that.
Yeah, I think that's it. And you know, if I were PlayStation, I would have thrown a little from the makers of Halo in there, just to fuck with them.
Ooh.
But they didn't. Do it, so.
I think they want to avoid that. You just spent 1 point
Yeah.
something billion, right, on Bungie.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to remind them of your competition? And
Sure,
Halo's not exactly in a good state right now. So
Sure,
from the
that's
makers of Halo, in any way, shape, or form, can be misconstrued of what you mean that piece of shit they just put out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But maybe you do like from the makers of Halo Combat Evolved comes a new PlayStation exclusive IP.
It's not
They
exclusive.
don't want to push that out. Oh, is it not? Oh,
No, it's on
not.
Xbox. That's
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one
PlayStation is
thing.
keeping up with Bungie games are going everywhere. We're not going to force them to put them only on PlayStation devices.
I think it was part of the deal when they got bought out.
It was.
Has
But like
to be.
Sony has to agree to that at the end of the day, no?
Sure.
True. Yeah, this marathon game, I've never seen it before in my life. I never heard of it before in my life. I knew nothing about it. So it came out in 1994. So
Yeah. More information came out afterwards. There was like a special live stream. They had to get like 7,000 viewers or something like that to watch it. Apparently a PvP extraction game with like some PvE elements in it. So very Escape from Tarkov type of game.
okay.
And it sounds like it's supposed to be like an evolving world where players can discover new stuff that'll change the map and change stuff. We'll see how that works, because usually that's a bunch of like filler content that isn't really anything. But if done right, the experience sounds like it could be a very, very cool game if done right. I think that's the big thing, right?
I'm done with extraction games.
No, I love extraction games.
There
If they're
hasn't-
done, we haven't had a good one yet, like that made sense.
Yeah. Here are the.
I think that's
good
why I'm done
extraction
with
games.
it.
No, bro, like Tarkov
Good.
is actually a fun game
Sure.
if
Two-
it actually made sense.
There have been 2 good extraction experiences: Tarkov and Division Beta, Dark Zone Beta.
Yeah,
sure, before the actual
before the
game.
actual game came out.
People ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, beta, specifically the beta, not the
Oh,
full
the
game.
beta was
Exactly,
next
so, like,
level,
Beta
bro.
was really good.
So fun.
Based on what you just said about there only being one good extraction game,
That's not entirely true. The Call of Duty one's actually good.
DMZ.
It's
Yeah,
not.
you're right,
It's not a
it's
full.
great.
It's not a. The problem is, it's not a full game. It's a mode. That's the problem with it. If they made Call of Duty DMZ and that was a full-fledged game, I think that game would be really fun.
Sure.
If they would put the time and the
Yeah.
investment into making it, I
Yeah.
agree. I
But,
don't think
but
they
you've
would.
hit the nail on the head there with the Dark Zone beta. Dark Zone beta was like nothing else I
Dark
experienced.
Zone Beta is the best extraction. I haven't
Well-
played Tarkov, so that's a little going out of it, but it was a very, very good experience.
I'm sure until Marathon's early access hits, and that'll be fucking phenomenal for 24 hours, and then people will ruin it again. I'm sure.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Next up, and the last thing on our list that came to Xbox, Destiny 2, the final shape, which had Cade in it, which was
He's
huge.
back.
That is, I know, like, generally, like, the reason that is huge is because I know who that character is from Destiny, and there isn't many characters I know from Destiny, and there was a mini pop there from me where I'm like, oh, he's alive! Am I gonna go
Yeah.
back? No, I don't care. I don't care.
I've seen that sentiment from a lot of people though.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Cade's back. Am I back in Destiny? I'm back in Destiny.
Yeah.
A lot of people were expecting to be like completely done with the franchise at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good move on them marketing wise.
I don't know why they killed him.
I think it had to do with money, but also I think Nathan Fillion, who was the original voice actor, stopped doing him for that expansion. And I don't know if he was like, I can't do the voice anymore or whatever. He's back now for the character.
I was going to say, sounds like he's back.
So I wonder if it was a case of like,
Because they got
we gotta change
PlayStation
voice
money.
actor.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, honestly,
Maybe PlayStation bought them and they were like, "We're only going to buy you if you bring Cade back."
We
There's
need
just one
Cade.
dude at the top of PlayStation who
somebody
fucking
at
loves
PlayStation was
Cade.
just a really big Cade.
Nathan Fillion fan.
Yeah. It's Nathan Fillion's cousin. Needs the money. Yeah, but the fact that this is called the final shape, Crash, does that mean anything? Does that mean
No, they have a
this is it?
showcase August where they're talking about the future of Destiny 2, Matt. They were already ahead of you on.
But is the future of Destiny 2? The Destiny 2 is over with the final shape, and we're getting Destiny 3.
You know, previously I would have said, no, Matt, you're crazy. But lately there have been a lot of issues, server issues, and things like that popping up within Destiny.
Wasn't the game broken at one point on Xbox?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that.
It had issues, so that maybe, regardless of like what they want, it might be either time for an upgrade or time to like. Because this game is out on Xbox One and PS4, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
for
it's
sure.
time to let some of those platforms go. But I don't even know if the platforms are holding it back or it's just the way the game's constructed at this point.
Sure. Do you think if there's a world in which Destiny 2 evolves into a place where it is no longer on PS4 and Xbox One, do you think that could happen? And it's not Destiny 3, but it's like it just doesn't exist on those platforms anymore?
I think there's a possibility of that, if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Just because at some point those platforms have to get dropped if the game wants to keep growing and adding new content.
Or
I think
it's Destiny 3.
Or it's Destiny 3, or it's Destiny drop numbers completely.
I could see it.
I don't know. I got some wiggle room with this by the time Final Shape, because they could also drastically change the world to where it would make sense to have a brand new game post Final Shape, depending on what they do with that content wise. So they could give themselves an out there in that regard. But we'll see what they decide to do.
Well, you'll be on the streets telling us, Chris, because you are our Destiny guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you guys covered.
We got a question from top left after all that says, given how overhyped the PlayStation Showcase was and how disappointing it turned out to be, what do you think Xbox could do to capitalize on it via their showcase? And also, what are your thoughts regarding the Q Lite handheld? Are you interested? Do you think it's a pointless product? Let's start on the last thing here, being the handheld. What a pointless piece of equipment.
I don't think it's pointless.
Interesting. It's a glorified remote play tablet.
Yeah, and you could buy a backbone for probably a third of the price, maybe less, and it would do your job better because that screen that they're putting on it is shite.
It's crap.
Sure, but you could say that about all of Sony's peripherals.
No, 100%. I agree with you on that, but to me, it just felt very tone deaf from PlayStation, where Xbox is moving in a play everywhere way, where it's like whatever device you want, whatever.
Well, you can remote play to your phone right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
So why would I want this?
For people who want it. It's literally for PlayStation fans. I don't think this is a case of where like they're trying to mass market it. I don't think they're trying to sell this as a handheld. I don't think it's any of those stuff. I think this is for PlayStation fans who like to own PlayStation things.
Maybe Sony.
And I think you're reading too much into it.
Sony has a lot of tablet prototypes somewhere in a warehouse, and they're like, we should probably get rid of these things from 2004. Oh, whack them in a backbone. We'll buy a load of backbones on Alibaba or AliExpress or whatever, and we'll do that.
I just think it's a point. I do think it's a pointless product.
The only way. Sorry, go on, Crash.
I think it depends on the price point. I think
exactly what I was going to say.
If it's like a $300 thing, I think it's way too expensive. If it's $400, it's way too expensive. The thing that I'm worried about with it is it has adaptive triggers.
But it's going to be expensive.
and have no battery life.
Well, you got to think about it from a controller point of view. How much is that PlayStation controller?
It's like $70, right?
Okay, so then 70 at the starting price. Let's say they get this. It's $200.
I think 200.
It's too expensive. I think 200 is too expensive. It's going to be 200.
It has to be. I think it should be under 120.
Yeah, I think it should be $100 max.
I think 150 to 200 is fine. You can get it on sale for like
HD. It's not even like an OLED panel. Or
I don't get it.
No, me neither.
I generally don't get it. But what can Xbox do to capitalize on their showcase? For me, it's just show exclusives. Like it's that weird thing of, and
Xbox. It's so easy for Xbox. They just gotta show up. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, you show up. Don't drop the ball. Don't show nothing.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's impossible. I think as long as you show stuff and the stuff doesn't look bad, I think you'll be fine. I hope there's not an over focus on Starfield. They've
got their own showcase, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But bro, I thought this was a layup for Sony. I'm just saying.
No, like now it's like for me for Xbox generally, I feel like it's just a case of show up, present whatever it is you're trying to present well, which is going to be. It's pre-recorded, so it's going to be, and show us some of your exclusives.
Yeah. Like I don't think there's any way they do this, but I would love for them to. Big Phil comes out first thing, and he's like, "Hey, Sony and Summer Game Fest, both great shows. Quick montage. Here's all the stuff that they showed you. That's also coming.
Obviously not.
Real quick montage, real quick. Blast through all that stuff, and then also these ones are coming to Game Pass probably.
Honestly, Alan Wake. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it there.
No.
Well, we already know
it's gonna be a Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, but I'm not saying in that regard. I'm saying if like Microsoft has a sizzle reel of like here's all the stuff at the start, whatever, you know how they have those type of sizzle reels. You see Alan Wake there.
No.
Throw a marathon in there.
Not marathon.
When's the showcase? Next week, right?
No, Xbox is on the 11th, so yeah, not next week, week after.
Okay, cool. So we've got plenty of time to our prediction episode. Top left, show up, show me some games. Show me Avowed, show me Fable, show me Forza, show me State of Decay. No, they don't even need it. They don't even need an Indiana Jones. They don't need a Contraband. They don't need any of those games. All they need, and I think we'll see Contraband, by the way. But just show me the stuff that you've already said that you're working on in some capacity to know that it's in a healthy space.
Show me gameplay for 3 Xbox exclusives, and I'm good. I think that's all you need. And they gotta look good, obviously not.
Yeah.
But like if they're gonna show it, they're gonna show games that look good.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, don't include Starfield in that 3.
Yeah, no.
No.
New gameplay of a game that we haven't seen before. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we jump in? Yeah, that's the end of that. Should we jump in what's been our box real quick? Anyone been planning anything interesting they want to share with the class? Moving on to this week's dashboard, Xbox take another L in the news this week. This one comes from Windows Central and says, Square Enix, PlayStation offered a better deal than Xbox for Final Fantasy 16. An interview in Game Informer via Tweaktown recently shed light on why the hotly anticipated action RPG Final Fantasy 16 is skipping Xbox, and it's sadly unsurprising. According to Square Enix, PlayStation simply offered a better content acquisition deal than Xbox. Quote, Final Fantasy is one of Square Enix's most important franchises, up there with Dragon Quest and Kingdom Hearts series. When we do begin development, we approach multiple platforms, multiple companies about releasing the game, and when you approach them, they're going to come back to us with their offers. Square Enix also noted the deal also offers them a higher level platform support with PlayStation engineers to the implication that Xbox does not. Square Enix also emphasized the benefits of optimizing on a single platform. So it comes down to they offered more money and they believe they have a better infrastructure, which they wouldn't be wrong about, would they, if we're being honest?
Yeah. I think realistically PlayStation probably could have offered less money as well. And just because the player base is bigger, you're more likely to go there, right?
Yeah, I think money talks at the end of the day. The Square Enix clearly. I feel like once upon a time we're sitting here going, Square are going to sell. Square are going to sell. Square are not selling. They're in a market right now where they're going to show off a bunch. They said it in this interview. We start development and we approach everybody. And who comes at us with the biggest bag is how our games end up on their platforms.
Yeah.
I do think it's stupid of Xbox though. Because Final Fantasy is one of those titles that you should drop stupid amounts of money on. So,
I wonder if one of the contention points would be the Xbox Series S.
Yeah, it would be.
And I wonder if Microsoft will ever drop that. I don't think they do until the new SKUs come out, right?
I don't think they drop it until the second lot of SKUs.
The second lot of SKUs.
I think we get a smaller S, a smaller X, and then we get we get the Pro version of that, which is the new version of Xbox.
Yeah.
I also think there's an element of this where Xbox has no foothold in Japan, where Final Fantasy is fucking massive.
Yeah.
And so, go on.
I agree with that, but also console games don't sell like that in Japan in general.
Final Fantasy doesn't sell it in Japan?
Huge. I don't think console games in general sell like that in Japan anymore, unless you're talking about a Switch or a mobile game. I'm not saying that they don't sell and they don't perform over there, that it's not worth.
No, Sony's still selling game. Sony's still selling in Japan.
Like that?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, they are. I like it.
Well, the only way to sell this is for us to go to Japan altogether and interview people on the street.
Japan trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good
That's what the people want. That's what the people want.
The budget's not there. The budget's not there, guys. The budget's not there. The budget's not there. She's not here today. I think this is, if it comes down to a case of money, this is one of the biggest L's in Xbox history for me. I just think to have an exclusive Final Fantasy game on your platform is a no-brainer.
That gets too high where there isn't a rate of you aren't getting that return.
I don't think they need the return on. That's the point. It's figure out the number where you can be net not net positive, like 0. So you don't make any money on it, but you don't lose any money on it, and that's the offer.
But what if that offer's not good enough for Square Enix?
Then that's fine, because that's a business at that point.
Yeah, because Square Enix does make money from these games when they go to PlayStation. Yeah. What if Square Enix doesn't make enough money through those games? Because I'd imagine that's what it is. I do think that Microsoft would go to that point, but not beyond that point.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't see them wanting to lose money on a Final Fantasy 16, that's fine. That's fine. I get
also, when this article comes out, Phil Spencer just gets to forward it to the CMA and go,
software's a little bit different. Like this, it's a little bit different. I get it.
I'm just saying exclusives exist, CMA.
You're not wrong.
Exist.
You're not wrong. Tell you what, let's skip all the rest of these stories because they're pretty boring. Let's get into the questions here. Jumping Fixer Sack. This one's from Hero Jeff, and he says, I'm always looking for new games to play, especially smaller/indie games. What are your recommendations for hidden sleeper hits? Matt, this question's here again on you.
I know. It's been here now for 3 weeks, and that's all on me. Well, the difficulty here is that indie game is so general, right? So if you nail it down a little bit for me, Hero Jeff. I mean, if it's anything, Potioncraft, check that out. What else is on Game Pass that you should check out?
That new Pokemon game. Beast Cassette Beast.
Cassette Beast is great. Check that out.
Yeah.
Tunic. Check that out.
Okay.
Fae Tactics. Check that out.
Gears Tactics, little indie game from a little studio called Xbox.
Yeah. There's also there's a game you're probably unfamiliar. Is the Halo Master Chief Collection? Yeah.
Ooh, Halo Wars as well. Pretty indie game. What's the thumbstick Halo game? I'm forgetting what it's called.
That's not indie. That was developed by somebody else. You're a liar. Moving on, all jokes aside. Original Cookie Man. Considering all the recent advancements in AI, search, art, research, tools, music creation, many games still struggle to provide a human-like opponent. In your experience, which games has provided you the best AI opponents?
Question.
Ooh.
This is an interesting one because
Yeah.
there are games out there where you do not want good AI.
Stealth.
Because if you're looking at a stealth game, exactly,
Sure.
you don't want good AI in a stealth game. It's difficult. Wow.
Throw out there, like you get to a point in fighting games where the AI is completely null and void, but like Smash Brothers, for like your average Smash Brothers player, the level at which you can set the difficulty for AI in Smash Brothers is quite impressive, I think. And I'm sure anybody who plays Smash Brothers for any meaningful length of time will laugh at that. But for me, top level Smash Brothers is top level AI Smash Brothers is a bit of a nightmare. Go on.
I got a question, Matt, and you can feel free to avoid answering this question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you playing Smash Brothers against AI?
You got no friends. If you ain't got no friends,
playing online.
Yeah, play it online.
Because I'm shit.
Nintendo Online. Nintendo Online's dead.
Doesn't
Is that
matter.
too?
He's playing
Is
against
that too?
computers.
My
My
answer is going to sound like a meme, but I want to be deadly serious. I'm being deadly serious with this answer. The best AI I've ever faced in a video game is in Football Manager. Nah, you're laughing at me when you're listening to me when I say that, but Football Manager generally is one of the best AIs in video games.
I'm going to agree with that. You want to know why? Because I think it's a very similar reason to why something like XCOM is probably my favorite AI. Is because it's a tactics game and it's not a moment to moment. It's all decision based, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think Football Manager for me is like if I play with a non-league team versus Manchester United, I'm going to get beaten 99 times out of 100. And then there's that odd occasion in football, real life football, where the underdog does win. That's what happens in Football Manager. That's why it's one of the most addictive games in my life, right? Football Manager, to me, it's just like Football Manager is that game. If you said to me what game has the best AI, probably not the romantic answer you were looking for here, Origin Cookie Man, and I do apologize for that, but Football Manager is my answer for this, 100%. Other games with great AI that I've enjoyed, Splinter Cell. I've always had fun with the AI in that. Resident Evil, I think Resident Evil 2's AI when it comes to obviously Mr. X and then Lickers and the zombies in that game I think are very good. The problem is it's like any game. Once you know the patterns of them, they're easy to beat. Again, I play a lot of sports titles like NBA as well. NBA's on the hardest difficulty for NBA. It's like you're playing I imagine I've never played a professional basketball game, but I can imagine it's the most simulated version of a professional basketball game, you know?
Yeah.
So you've never shot hoops with LeBron fix?
I haven't. He just went out. He lost 4-0 crash. 4-0. He got swept.
Yeah, I know.
Got swept.
Unbelievable.
Rough.
Very quickly, slight pivot on this question, but similar enough. I did recently see somebody modded Chat GTP into Skyrim, into an NPC that follows you around, and you can ask it any question, and it will respond to you in an AI voice that it's like found the answer on the internet and comes back. It doesn't work because in the example I saw, he was asking it, what is the solution to this puzzle? And it was like eagle, snake, whale, and then he got shot with a bunch of arrows and died. Hilarious. Maybe he did that for the meme. Maybe it does work better than that usually. I don't know. But what a fucking great idea. Love that.
Have you seen the AI for World of Warcraft?
Like a mod that creates its own storyline or whatever?
No. So it's just voice actors, for, like voice automated. Did you see it, Crash?
Yeah, I've seen it. I think it's cool.
I think it's amazing.
These stuff are very, very amazing. You could even say amazing as mods. My worry is always the second it goes into like a developer's hands and developers decide to start using this stuff.
Sure, and like it would be a horrible shame if voice actors never work ever again because this stuff gets so good. But, sorry, go on, Crash.
I don't think it gets so good.
I know the why.
No, quality replaces.
What I'm saying is, like in Pentiment, you can activate like narration, right? So that everything that is on screen is read by like Microsoft Sam, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
If we got, 20% better than that, and it was as good as it is in that World of Warcraft video that we're talking about, I would play Pentiment. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't read that much context. I can't read that much stuff, like with my dyslexia and stuff like that. And it puts me off playing that game, which I know is phenomenal.
I think as an accessibility feature, I think the conversation is different.
100%.
I think when it's like,
there's a gray area somewhere in the middle there, right? Where you start not hiring VO actors because of that. Anyway. Go on, Fix, what are you going to say? Breaking news?
Breaking news. We're excited to confirm that Forza Motorsport's cover cars meet the stunning 2023 one Calic Racing V Series R and the Chevron 2024 and the Corvette E-Ray. Tune into the Xbox Game Show on June 11th for an up-close look at the cars and a full walkthrough of our single-player career gameplay during Forza's monthly June 30th to see you at the finish line, or start line. So confirmed, Forza Motorsport will be at Xbox's Game Showcase on the 11th.
I mean, if either of you had made that as a prediction, we would have had a falling out.
Yes, but I just thought it was still. We don't care about Forza like that, but. Still.
Yeah.
But guys, did you see the Formula 1 career mode this year though?
No.
You hyped for it?
It looks so good. But brother, I'm actually hyped. I actually gonna understand what's going on because I watched the Drive to Survive series now.
I was gonna say that's why.
Yeah.
This, right?
I've been seeing so many more people get into F1.
Brother. So let me tell you this. No. Let me say it like this. No one gives a fuck about the racing.
They turned it into reality TV.
They did, and it's amazing. It's the best reality TV. I'll be honest with you, this last season of Drive to Survive was a little bit weak. Not enough drama. But I've fallen in love with Daniel Ricciardo. And he doesn't even race anymore, Crash. And now he might be coming back. And, bro, I don't even care. I don't care about the racing. And that's why. Because, yeah, they've turned it in, like Matt said, it's the Kardashians of a sport. And it's so fun.
So you tell me they turned it into, like, wrestling?
No. Better. Because it's actual human beings not playing they're angry, because they're actually angry. Seeing Lewis Hamilton be pissed because he lost the race, or Max Verstappen's swearing at everyone, and it's real emotions. It's real. It's real. But yeah, that's why I care.
Until you know that your camera's on you, and then it's all fake. Everything's fake. Everything on a camera in this world is fake.
What, us right now?
Yeah, it's all AI.
I've been AI the whole time.
We all just became sentient.
Yeah.
Last one will go from Rye. They say, what surprises, if any, do you think Xbox is cooked up for their showcase? Could we get any more shadow drops or surprise game announcements? Yes, I think we will get a surprise game announcements. I do believe that. I don't think Xbox are dumb enough to not do that, but no.
No shadow drops.
Yes.
I was going to say. Yeah, I do think surprise announcements. I do think we'll get a surprise announcement. I think no shadow drop.
Agree.
Matt got like the smirk, like he got some shit to say.
I think there might be a shadow drop. And if you want to hear what I think that shadow drop might be, then you have to tune in next week, which I'm sure will be our Xbox predictions episode.
Most certainly will.
On the shadow drop.
We'll get there next week.
I'm going to confirm to... No, I'm going to dial into Pizza Bet right now for that shadow drop. Do you want to take it?
Well, you not even knowing what I'm going to suggest.
I don't even want to know. I just want to know how big of a game are you suggesting is a shadow drop?
See, we can't get there without discussing it properly.
Let's discuss it next week.
We'll just do it next week.
I want to confirm. I want to lock in this Pizza Bet right now.
He's locking it in, Matt. You either extend the hand or you say no.
Well, no, because he's going to be mad. If he locks it in now and then I say it next week, he's going to be upset about it.
But he's locking it in. That's his problem.
Yeah, that's my problem.
All right, fine. Lock it in. Shadow drop.
Okay.
Shadow drop. Other thing.
Well done.
Wait, a thing?
A game.
If it's not a game,
no, it's not even the same, and that's not even the same thing. That's not even the same thing. It has to be a game.
Anyway, the more I'm thinking about it, the less I actually think is going to happen. So
it's not a game.
1 versus 100. Shadow drop. Bam.
Can you imagine?
Are you saying DLC? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not pizza betting no DLC.
Because
that can shadow drop and that's realistic. No.
Everybody saw it.
No, that doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Take it back.
Doesn't count.
Take it back.
Let's plug and get ourselves out of here. Matt, we got to plug this week.
Follow my Xbox and me, the YouTube channel. Do the subscribing thing. and hit the thumbs up on the things.
Isn't Future
Bam,
Game
bam.
Show got a show coming up?
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, we have a showcase coming up on the 10th of June.
We'll be
It's
reacting.
cool stuff in it, man.
We'll be
It's cool
reacting.
stuff in it.
We'll be
I'm not gonna
reacting.
say. You're gonna react to it?
Yeah, it's your show.
Oh, that's very sweet. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I might be in London for it, and then if I am, then you're just going to come to the London event, and then you ain't going to react to it.
Say less. Sounds like free drink to me. Crash, what you got to plug this week?
The My Xbox and Me podcast reviews over on the Apple podcast spot, whatever. We got a new review.
What?
my
Do I read it this
goodness.
week or do I leave it for next week?
Another
No, next week's going to be predictions, so you got to go for it.
Okay. The whole title cuts out, so I can't even read the
Crash,
whole
we
title.
got one
You
on
got
from
one
the
as well?
UK.
Okay. Well, this one is
What a day.
5 stars. And the part of the title that I can read, one of the best Xbox podcasts out, TH. I assume it says there, but can't confirm that.
Okay.
Who knows?
This came on Tuesday. It's from Azil Raziel. I think I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. The review it's 5 stars as well.
Of course.
As someone who listens to many other Xbox podcasts, I can confidently say that MC Fixer is one of the best hosts of any Xbox podcast that I've listened to. You can feel the dynamic between the hosts, and each one is able to speak for good lengths and getting their points across with minimal interruptions. Constant interruption during talking points is a huge pet peeve of mine. So keep up the great work, and congratulations on 8 years of podcasting. Unfortunately, Matt P lied to you. Unfortunately, Matt P
Makes me so
goes to get on the
happy.
podcast and deceive everybody. That's all. Next week, Matt's gonna be like, my prediction is I'm not gonna be here next week for the podcast
That
because he's
makes me
done.
so happy. That's hilarious. I love
Thank
that.
you for the 5-star review. Thank you for the kind words. And I don't know if I agree on the MC Fixer point, but everything other than that.
You know what's crazy? I don't agree with him either. I can barely read. Dude, listening to this podcast, yeah, I mean, I think I'm very entertaining, and I think I do a good job of passing. I try. We interrupt each other, we do, but again, we're in 3 different parts of the world. It's very hard not to.
It's hard to know sometimes when somebody's going to stop speaking and you think they're going to stop speaking.
I think the big thing is we've been doing this long enough now that we have our chemistry is the big thing between us all, so it works. We also have a 5-star review, and it reads like this: quality. I've been listening for around a year and have to say I very much enjoy the banter and game chat. It's almost like the sort of chats you have with your mates. Full disclosure, I don't own an Xbox as I'm a PlayStation guy, but I do subscribe to Game Pass and play in cloud.
Ooh. Matt is dedicated. Yeah.
One of the best Xbox podcasts I've listened to, down to earth, informative, and quite often funny. Keep up the work, boys. Potato from Lee Ellis. Shout out to
Holy
you,
shit.
Lee. You know, one thing I'm a bit disappointed is, Lee, you didn't kick your grandma down the stairs, mate. You didn't kick her down. You know?
I know, no hospitalized grandmas.
Is he going to admit that?
True. You're right.
I assume every review we got is somebody kicked their grandma down the stairs.
Yeah, for sure.
You're right.
That is fascinating, though, Lee. Can you let us know? Jump in the YouTube comments or in the Discord or something. Let me know what you're playing currently on cloud and stuff, because that is fascinating. And also, like, do you have a controller? Do you have a backbone? I'm interested.
Matt wants a full story.
Yeah, when you answer,
really do.
I also one question I have: do you play multiplayer games on the cloud?
No way.
He's
Can't
a
be.
PlayStation player. He said he's PlayStation, and so
Yeah.
you got to assume that he's playing
But
his
if he
Fortnite
plays-
and whatnot
if
on
he's
the
played,
PlayStation.
Halo
Yeah,
Infinite,
but yeah.
like if he
I
plays
doubt it.
any game or he has any experience, like what that experience was, and if xCloud sort of may have ruined it for him, or he didn't really notice it. That's
I
more
want to
so-
know everything.
No.
I want to know your internet speed, Lee. I want to know
Matt's gonna have
Where in the
an
world
hour
are you?
interview coming up on the My Xbox and Me channel.
Be my best friend, Lee.
Idiots. What have I got to plug this week? We're having some internal discussions about some things. Well, yeah, you didn't respond, but yeah, we're having some internal discussions. I think we like talking. We like doing the podcast. I think we want to start doing more podcast content, amongst other things, is the big thing. So it's not confirmed or nothing like that. Again, we make this show for you guys, and we'll keep pivoting in ways that we want to. The idea, though, that at least I put in the Discord, which I think is a good idea. I think, and maybe it isn't, maybe it's not. Let us know in the Discord. Let us know on Twitter, things like that. We're thinking about changing the name of the YouTube channel as a whole and calling it something like the And Me Network or the And Me podcast or something like that, and then being able to do multiple different shows on the YouTube channel and then obviously on podcast services. Again, your podcast service feed right here on My Xbox and Me won't change in the slightest. Don't worry about anything like that. We'd have separate podcast feeds for all of our different shows. But yeah, I think like we could have done a breakdown of the PlayStation show over on My PlayStation and Me. When Nintendo drop a Zelda game or a game that we're all interested in, we can do My Nintendo and Me. I know Matt's very passionate about D&D, My D&D and Me. You know, there's so much stuff that we can do and we want to do. I think we all just struggle with how to brand it and where we're going to put it. And I feel like the first real big change for My Xbox and Me is just to change and we joke about on the podcast each week, right? About like, oh, it is the And Me part of the podcast. And it's like, so what's stopping us from having my personal life and me, you know, us just talking about things that are not video game related, films, things like that. Stuff that lets us get our personality across a lot more than we currently do. None of what I just said is confirmed. None of what I just said is correct. I don't think we would ever hit the numbers we've hit like we have on My Xbox and Me. I feel like it would become more a sporadical show. My PlayStation and Me would be when a big PlayStation game drops and we're all playing it, like a God of War or a Horizon, or some of us get into VR or whatever the case may be. You know, I just feel like My Xbox and Me is our baby. It's the biggest product we do. Obviously, the people that listen, like Lee and other people listen to the podcast, there's so much that can be done. I don't want to limit ourselves just because we like Xbox. And maybe if we can change that to the And Me brand and take it that next step further, maybe we'll grow quicker. And not only that, maybe we'll be able to exercise our creative juices a little bit more, because I feel like right now we feel a little trapped. So yeah, let us know. We do want your feedback on that. Let us know if you think that's a good idea. If you're a PlayStation fan or a PC guy or a Nintendo guy, or you like D&D or whatever the case may be, let us know. And no ideas are stupid, so please do reach out with them. I'll be keeping a close eye on the Discord, especially around all of this. So yes. Crash, anything to plug before I get off?
Leave another review. The UK is catching up, and I don't like that.
The British are coming. Until next time, we will love you. We will leave you. We will see you all later. And fork.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Goodbye.